Trying to do this with one hand makes it a little tough, especially with these big ones. Alright, there we go. Hi folks, my name is Jason with Hanbleceya Ranch. Along with my wife Jen, we retired in 2021. And we moved here to the beautiful state of Maine to start our off-grid homestead. The last couple of years have been spent doing most of our infrastructure and gardening. Now this is only our second garden since we've been here, and I wanted to spend a few minutes here to kind of show you guys where we're at with the garden. Now, if you recall, the beginning of this season was extremely rainy. As a matter of fact, the entire month of June rained. It was pretty unfortunate too, because most of the garden didn't actually get started. I mean, we had a terrible, terrible corn yield this year. Our summer squash didn't do very well. Our green beans didn't do very well either. And mainly because we did the Three Sisters this year with corn, green beans, and our summer squash. The other thing we had problems with was our cucumbers. We did pickling cucumbers, and we also did regular cucumbers, and they didn't do very good. Matter of fact, the first 12 plants that we planted, they all died. Primarily because it just rained way too much. We just didn't have enough sunlight to get everything moving. So, unfortunately, they just died. Now, right now, I'm putting away our carrots, and I'll show you everything here in just a minute. But I'm just trying to lay everything out per my boss's instructions. We're going to be doing quite a bit of preserving this year with our root crop, the onions and carrots. We're going to be doing the bins with some sawdust, and hopefully we're going to be able to successfully overwinter some of this stuff. Just like most things, it's just going to be trial and error right now. See what works, see what doesn't work. We don't have a root cellar, and we don't have a basement, so preserving food is a little difficult, to say the least. That said, Jen has done an amazing job canning. Why don't you take a look and see some of the stuff she's canned this year. I'm going to finish up with these carrots. So this is mostly from this year. I think there's like 3 or 4 jars in here of sauerkraut that she did last year. But we've got salsa, we've got carrots, we've got pickled beets, we've got bread and butter pickles. We've got a couple of bread and butter pickles from last year. All of this is pasta sauce from this year. We've got some dill pickles and bread and butter pickles over there. And then we've also got some regular old beets, the carrots, and boy, I'll tell you, it all looks really good. This is the first year she's done some pressure canning, and so that's pretty awesome. You know, everything looks good. Now, hopefully one day we'll have a much bigger shelf for all of our canned veggies, but for now, this is what we're using. And she's got a ton more to do, so we've got 4 more crates that we'll just stack up right here for right now. So, yep, it's looking good. So as you can see, Jen has done a ton of canning, and honestly, she's not done yet. Right now, we've got the bread and butter pickles. We've got the dill pickles that you've seen. We've got the pasta sauce and also the salsa, and the beets that she's also canned. So in addition to that, though, she has a ton of tomatoes left to can. So all of these are ripe. Those are going to be canned soon. We've also got some of the cherry tomatoes, and then we've got this. So we were able to harvest some potatoes out of our straw towers, and we'll show you more about that in a later video. But these are the tomatoes that she's got sitting out right now, and as you can see, they are monstrous. I mean, look at some of these. They're monsters. Unbelievable. And then our onions. Now we planted about 250, 275 onions, and we've already harvested a ton of them. But this is what we've pulled out of the garden so far, and I think this might be it. We might have a few stragglers here and there. We've given away quite a bit of onions to our neighbors and so forth. And then we've got our carrots. These things are absolutely gorgeous. We love them. And again, we're going to take a handful of all of these, and we're going to try to overwinter them in sawdust with bins. We have no idea how well it's going to come out, but we've got to try it and see if it works. We also pulled out the rest of our beets. Now these are a little small, but that's okay. She's going to be canning these and making pickled beets. So not only did she get beets canned, but she's going to be using these beets here to pickle as well. I love pickled beets. I haven't had them in a long time. She's not much of a fan, but she's going to do them anyways for me because that's just the kind of woman she is. All right, so in addition to what we've shown you so far, she is also, with the onions here, she has made this much of dehydrated, and we're trying to fill the can up for spices and stuff like that, for other meals. So as I was saying, the corn just did not do very well. It's stunted. Over here is where the Three Sisters is, and we don't even have any more corn. The beans have just decimated the corn. And honestly, we're not even getting a lot of beans. Now, we do have some beans in here. I can see right now, right there. So we got some in here. We'll have to pick those. It's going to rain today and tomorrow, but we'll get those here in a day or so. So we did pick all of the onions. So those are all gone, along with the beets and the carrots. So these rows are done for the season. We do have a couple of grape plants, or grape vines. They're starting to grow, so that's pretty cool. Hopefully this whole fence will end up being grapes. There's another one right there. But we've got some sunflowers here. We're going to cut those flowers off here soon and get those up for the birds. So we do still have 2 more towers left. We are going to go through these and take these down here in the next week or so, and we have a ton more of tomatoes. It is really obnoxious how many tomatoes we got this year, but that's great because it's giving Jen an opportunity to really hone in on her skills of canning, making pasta and salsa. So that is awesome. The cucumbers, like I said, they're done. They didn't do very well. I mean, they really just puttered out. So it's kind of a shame. We do like our cucumbers. Now our green peppers, they are still going awesome, going strong. With our yellow peppers here, as a matter of fact, we've got a really nice bell pepper right there. Now, all of our cabbage that we had, we've eaten all of that. I think Jen said we had another head starting, but it looks like it's kind of puttered out. Our celery is doing phenomenal. We're going to be harvesting this pretty soon. The winter squash has just kind of gone wild. Now, unfortunately, we did get hit with Tropical Storm Lee a few days ago, and it really damaged just about all of our produce here. The good news is we do still have, you know, we've got quite a bit of vegetables still to pick, so that's good. The artichokes now, the artichokes did really well this year, but unfortunately, you know, this is what happens when you don't harvest them in time. These here look pretty good. We should probably get those harvested, but it's hard, it's difficult. This is so time consuming, especially when we're new and the garden is so overwhelming. We've got some winter squash over here as well, and we've got some watermelon. So those are not ripe yet, but the plant looks like it's kind of fizzling away. Hopefully those will ripen up. We'll see. I think we had another one over here somewhere. We have more winter squash that's still in here, which is so awesome. We love winter squash. And as a side note, the dogs absolutely love winter squash as well. Overall, the garden did, at least in our opinion, did phenomenal. Like I said, there were a few things that didn't make it, and even our peas didn't make it. We got maybe a handful of peas early in the season, and then they just died off. So the weeds here just really have taken over the garden pretty bad. You can tell. I mean, this was all supposed to be clean and no weeds. I mean, hell, you can see the walking path has taken a beating. Now this here, the reason we laid all the straw is we are going to try the Ruth Stout method of no-till gardening next year. So this will be a patch here of that. We're going to probably also fill this in here with straw as well. And then all of the rows will get covered with straw for the winter. But we are building beds here for next season. So you'll have to check that out because that's going to be pretty awesome. All right, well, that does it for the garden update. We hope that this kind of inspires folks who have never done big gardening like this before to just go and do it. I mean, Jen and I did, and yes, it has been absolutely overwhelming, but at the same time, there is nothing better than growing your own food and having the opportunity to eat what you've put your time into. It's worth every single bite. All right, folks, well, that'll do it for this video. Thanks a lot for sticking around and watching it. If you liked it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and we will see you folks on the next video.